Hello friends, welcome to BISP Today we'll discuss about task list. In PBCS, task list is a predefined set of steps or activities, you can say, that users must follow to complete a business process such as budgeting, forecasting or reporting. This is, you can see, I have opened the application here. This is the list of all these scheduled tasks. So each task in the list can be assigned to specific users or teams, and it includes details like due dates, instructions, links to forms or reports which are needed to complete the task. So let us take a day-to-day example. I'll explain you so that you can understand the task list. So imagine that you are planning a family vacation. Okay. Now the task list in PBCS is like the checklist you create to organize everything for the trip. This is I will show you how this analogy works so that you can understand task list better. So like, see, in if when you're planning a family vacation, so in real life, first you decide where you have to go to vacation. So first is the destination. Similarly, in PBCS, you set up budget goals or financial forecast for the upcoming period. Okay, next, if you're like planning the vacation, what will you do after destination? You will book the flights and accommodation. So similarly, in PBCS also, you have to complete a task like filing out the budget forms, these budget forms which are assigned for different departments or projects. Then you may have to need to submit the approval, like how to finalize all these things, the forms and the various results, how to and finalize it. So you can write here approval is needed. Then we have to like pack up the luggages. So here also in PBCS you have to enter the data and make the adjustment. Then in real life, you set up reminders for the departure time. The departure schedule, you keep up the reminders for that. So similarly, in PBCS also, you set deadlines. Deadlines in relation with the budget task when it needs to be completed. So the system will send you then the reminders of the task whichever is due. You will get a notification for this when you have set the deadlines for the budget. So system will send you the notification. Similarly, as it happened in the real lives when we set the reminders, so here also we get the email notifications. Then finally you will be on board on the flight. So here you will inform the family members about the schedule and assign the responsibilities to each one, who is going to handle what, who is going to handle the luggage, who is going to handle the travel documents, etc. Similarly, in PBCS also we have to assign the task to different team members to ensure that everyone plays a role in planning and budgeting process. So it's like in every day-to-day life we do planning, and then accordingly we make the task list. Similarly, in PBCS also the task list is prepared, and that helps to ensure that every budgeting or forecasting activity happens in sequence and nothing is missed out, just like a well organized family vacation plan. So hope you've understood what is the topic in general that we are going to cover today. So now you see that planning is a group of activity. Now the manager would want its subordinate to perform certain tasks in certain order. So a task list is basically a to-do list. You can also say it as a guided navigation for those who are new and who doesn't know, if there's some new employee and he doesn't know how to perform the month-end activity, the particular activity is assigned to him or her. So in the task list there would be instructions provided, and this would be a guided navigation and one can perform it. So we will do the month-end activity. Here we will this task list is a month-end activity, and you can say that there are multiple processes to be performed at the end of the month. So we'll list them out. So in PBCS, the month-end activity would involve, like, first setting up the user variable. Now see, if you see, like in our household activity, at the end of the month, if we want to review the household expenses, bills and the future plans. Similarly, here also we have to, in PBCS we have to review the month expenses, like we review the actual expenses versus budget to ensure all transactions have been recorded correctly and match the company's financial records. So if you see here, I've listed out the month-end activities, and it typically involves a series of steps. To all these steps you can see here. So first, here setting user variables. Now there are certain variables which need to be changed these are user variables and they are assigned for a particular month. As the month changes, this variable has to be changed. Then updating metadata, because there might have been some new accounts in the GL, in the ledger, in the ERP. There might have been some new accounts added in this month, so we have to update the metadata. Then loading data and validation. So we have to import actual financial data from source system and also ensure that all the imported data is accurate and complete. Then we do adjustment. These are post adjustment. So if any necessary adjustment, corrections or accruals to the data before the closing of the books have to be done, so these adjustments are done. This is also month end activity. Then we will perform variance analysis. So we'll compare actual financial results against budgeted or forecasted values to identify any significant variances. Then if for those companies dealing with multiple currencies, we run the currency conversion process. Then approval process is there. We submit the financial data including any adjustment and reconciliation to relevant stakeholders for the approval. So here the approval workflow has to be given. Then you can see locking and closing of entities. So we have to, like, once the data is validated, so we log data entry to prevent any further changes. So we mark entities as closed for that particular period, ensuring that no additional data can be entered or modified for that month. And lastly, we have to generate the financial reports such as income statements, balance sheet, cash flows. And then we have to prepare for next period. So this would includes the roll forwards. So which means that moving data and settings to the next period. We set up the next month's planning or forecasting cycle to start capturing the data for the new period. So as I was showing, this is the task list here. This is the home page, and when you go to the navigator over here, you'll find you see here there is task, and this is basically this is a summary of the task list over here. And then in the application you can see here task manager. So task list is used as a standalone solution, and task manager on the other hand is an enterprise solution. This would invoke processes outside the planning application. So it is used when we have to implement a complete Oracle EPM, so that you can integrate from Fusion to PBCS, or maybe from FCCS to PBCS. So right now you do not find task list over here, because when this application is created, it was created with task manager. So I'll create a fresh new application. We have to remove this one, and I will create a new application so that we can see the working of task list. So this will take couple of minutes. And we'll create a new application. So application type, I'm keeping it as custom only. See here, task flow type, EPM task manager. By default this is selected, and this will give you task manager option in the application. So here I will select task list. So now I'll get the task flow type in the application, and we'll create a multi-currency application. So application has been created. So when you click this navigation, here under create and manage, you will see task list. So we'll create the task list from here, but before that, this application is all empty. Let me create some metadata so that we can create a task list accordingly. So I'll first create a user variable over here. I am creating period as user variable here, and here we'll take all the months. And I'll name it as current month. Okay, so let's go to the task list here and create one. So under actions you will get this option of create task list. So this is month end close task we have prepared. This is the instruction box. So I've right now for demo purpose I've given a this instruction. So likewise such instructions are provided. Now in the month end close task that we have provided this, we are going to create all the tasks that we have created, that I had shown you over here. I will just copy it here, all these tasks. So here you get the summary of all the tasks to be performed. Now in this we going to add the all these activities which will be the subtask. So the first one was change user variable. Now we have to also provide the start date and end date over here. So we will take the last week of the month for all these closing activities, and we will give them 3 days offset to close this activity. So I will here user variable. For this user variable I'll keep it as 30th. And I also have to provide the end date, so I will keep it as first, because this is one activity which needs to be done exactly on the last date, and it has to be done by the beginning of the first day of the month. And here I will give the instructions that please change user variable, and also we can provide the instructions how to change that, like one is supposed to go to the, we can actually give the navigation over here from tools. One is supposed to go to the user preference, and then from there one is supposed to change it to the current month. And save this. Next, if we see in our sheet, this is we have set this task, setting user variable. Next is the updating metadata. So okay, we'll come here and we'll name the task as load new account. So the type here will be dimension editor, and here you have to give the dimension. So let's suppose this is to be done in the accounts dimension. So we select the accounts dimension, then we have to give the start date again. So 27th, and end date I'm giving like 2 days offset I'm providing. So by 2nd of October. So I'm providing the instructions here. Please load the accounts new metadata from ERP server, and I will save this. So here you can see month end close task. This is under this we have created 2 subtasks. Then we have to load data and validate. So import updated trial balance. Now this is import and export, the type, and here I am talking about data. So this is import data from file. Start date I am keeping as 27th, and end date again I am providing 2 days offset. So similarly you can, this is the whole list over here. We can go on preparing, and we can go on providing the type, and for like adjustment I can provide here the task like direct data input for adjustment, and the type I can provide forms, data forms. We can give the start date and end date. So similarly for all these things we can create the task list over here. We haven't provided any alerts, but if it is required, then there was also a time to provide the alert, date and time. We end date, like we have given start date and end date. Similarly the alerts are also given, the time of the alert. So the user will get notification, email notification for the alert created, so that he gets to know what are the jobs pending, so one can perform on time. That's why these alert time and date is also given over here. Now once we finish making all the task list, then we associate the security, so that the users, various users, they can see which task they have to perform. So here when we click on the task list created, and when we go on the security, then we will get this dialog box where the users and the groups are given. So we can click on the user. Right now this is new application, I haven't created any user, so I will I'll create one and then I will show you. So I see here the users are there. So let's go to the task list. So I'll select say Alex, and I will give him the access of manage and assign, and add this. Close this dialog box. So now once this task list preparation is complete, we associate the security, so that Alex, like I provided this task to the Alex, so Alex can see the respective task and perform it. And each task and subtask can be assigned to specific users or department with the due date and description. So the task list that I've explained today, this ensures that every important step is accounted for in the month-end close process. So that way it helps keep all these stakeholders on track with their task. That's it for today. If you have any queries, you may write into us at www.bispsolutions.com. Thank you.